Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Sports Matrix podcast show. I don't know yet. Still figuring that out. But today, got a fun little episode. We are going to hop in another big board stream and take a look at some of the exposures that you can do afterwards with a CSV file. It won't include this draft, but in a couple minutes here, we are going to hop in, see what the ADP is like. I have gotten 43 big board drafts done, hoping to get 75. Got a bunch of early ones and going to try and finish some more on stream. So hopefully got a few more people coming in at 8:55, so 8:55 Eastern time that is. Uh, and yeah, we're gonna do a little drafting together. I think we're gonna have another guest, Daniel Childs, who, if you know us from the Keeper League Kids podcast, the Olston Show, we are co-hosts and co-commissioners in that league. So looking forward to having him come on and roast me about my draft. But as we get ready here, let's get ready to hop in with a minute to go. Ready. All right. Present. Doing it on the fly. All right. And we are almost ready to go. Let's put the music back up a little bit more. We're going to hop in right at 55. Here we go. 3 people. Oh, what just happened? Kick me out? Alright, we got that live. Nice, looks good on the other stream. Waiting on 3 more folks to hop in. If anyone wants to get in a big board draft right now. Nice. We're going to have a couple other folks. John from the last stream and Sam, who I'm sure you guys are going to meet if you also remember him from the Keeper League Kids podcast. But yeah, so we got 3 people here. Let's keep my phone on me in case this starts. But while we're waiting, one of the things I'm going to look at as well is this Excel sheet that I got from Underdog. So hopefully everyone can see this real quick. Oops, there you go. Right one. So this is the exposure CSVs that we were able to get. So if you get download from Underdog, which I can show you where you can download that under your exposures. You can only do that on the computer. You can't actually do that on your phone on the app, but it is a pretty cool feature. So got all these different data points. I separated out the date to try and do something with it, but haven't necessarily gotten that far yet, but don't need it for this exercise right now. We have pick number, ID code for the player, first, last name. I did have to create full name to make it easier. It looks like our draft is about to start, so I'll hop in over there in a second. And yeah, we'll walk through this a little bit more at the end of the draft. Maybe Childs will have a couple hot takes for me on some of my exposures. But let's see what we got right now. Going back to the draft board. All right. Pulling up. Starting in 20 seconds now. Getting a nicer. Here you go. And zoom in here. John at 1-2. Hawks at 1-8, and another 1-12. I keep getting late draft picks. I'm okay with it. I'm not complaining too much, but I'd like a few 1-2 picks to get some more Jefferson Chase exposure. Hochberg saying he hates 8 right now. I understand. I feel you on that, buddy. Not as bad as 5 or 6, honestly, but so any other interesting names in here? Nah, not anyone. Couple red badges. Dr. One Professor. Walk stars I've seen in a couple of drafts, but ooh, CMC 1-1. Gotta take Jefferson here. Great job. That's big. Chase would have been fine there too. Yeah, that was a quick other snag for Chase. Let's bring up the draft board here. How does this look over here? Yeah, you guys can see it all right. I guess further on, later down. Can I move me? No. Be cool if I could move my corner here to the right hand corner, but all right, we got Hochberg coming up pretty soon. Let's see what he's gonna do. Oops. All right. Take a look at my rankings right now. I have Tyreek Hill pretty high, low on Kupp. I'll still take him if he's there, but not the highest on that upside, depending on what's going on with that offense. We just heard that Jalen Ramsey may be looking to get moved by the Rams, so I'm a little bit concerned in what direction this Rams team is really going in. If he got traded, that would actually be not terrible, but I don't know if his contract would allow that. All right, Hochberg coming up next. Adams is such a good pick there. Is he going to get spicy with it? Wouldn't mind taking Taylor Eckler here if they fall. Still not on my Bijan yet. Got a couple shares, but don't feel great about him, honestly, at this ADP. I think there's a couple scenarios where he goes to a team where he's maybe not the guy this year, especially with how many good free agent running backs there are. Yep, he took Adams, which was smart. Slow draft, people taking their time. Friday night, people got things going on. Hey DC, I put on the alert this time so that I wouldn't miss you. What's going on, buddy?
Hello.
Hello.
How we looking?
Haven't drafted yet. I'm up next on the clock. Interesting. Very heavy wide receiver room here. I'm going to take Taylor here. I haven't gotten a ton of shares of him. I kind of like him at 12, but I could get really trapped by a wide receiver avalanche or do I just completely lean into it and go Bijan and Taylor? What are your thoughts?
I like doubling down on running back.
Yeah. I think Barkley is another consideration, but I don't know. I have a weird feeling about Barkley that he's not going to be able to capitalize on that. I think his value is in volume right now, whereas let me grab a couple Bijan shares. So, all right, I'm zagging while the room is zigging. Let's see what happens. This should be a fun draft. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'll give my Bijan take quickly.
Yeah, please do.
I think it's interesting, especially drafting so early, because he feels overvalued a little bit at, the turn, or 16, I think is his ADP right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think about Najee 2 years ago, where he landed in the right situation and then was probably going top 7 in drafts by like preseason in August. So there's a chance Bijan looks like a value at come August 30th.
Yeah, obviously the biggest thing for him is going to be where he goes and the other competition that he has. That could be the thing that really plummets his draft stock, just because when you're kind of laying out the different possibilities of teams he could go to, you can kind of almost put in like every team besides a handful that kind of have their elite running back already. So you don't really know where he's going to go. So the landing spot will be very key into whether he can capitalize off of this 1-2 turn value, or if he's just going to completely plummet. But I'll take the risk right here. I don't have a ton of shares already, so I'm fine with it. And what did Hochberg do? Okay, Adams, Mahomes, interesting. I'm sure the Kelsey owner is not thrilled, but interesting. Another double RB team. So we got 2 RB heavy teams with Eckler and Barkley going to MTC there. So interesting. Yeah, should be a big wide receiver run ending now, and then probably some running backs. But yeah, how are you liking the draft board right now? How many of you got into so far?
I've done 9 drafts, I think. 9 fast drafts. I'm in probably 8 slows, I think, for football. Actually jumped in a couple this week with some of my golf winnings because I didn't want to put them in more golf drafts, so I just jumped in a couple big boards. Nice. It's weird right now. Like, I feel like last year I had a good handle on the big board. I knew some values. Granted, it's not like I won it, but like I felt like I had more of a plan and an attack. And this year, it's just like drafts are weird with all these receivers going early, 3 quarterbacks in the second round. Like, it's just, I think it's an adjustment year and kind of a change year for fantasy as a whole.
And I think the biggest change, I guess, is probably in the running back position and how many elite options we're really seeing. Now, part of that is, I think, our 2 projected guys of Breece Hall and Javonte are hurt this year, but I still think that running backs in general are being valued in a much more uncertain way, partially because of the free agent market and how many uncertain locations there are. But yeah, this is a weird time, and I feel like there's not a ton of value to be had right now, just because everything's so uncertain. So John,
there are a couple guys. There are a couple guys I like at value, but yeah, we'll see who John takes first.
And he took DK there in the second, so I feel like he thought of the Piss Boy draft was happening as well. Looks like someone can grab Olave here for some pretty good wide receiver value, and then it's going to fall off again. I can bring up the board here. Who else is coming up? But so I got ETN pretty high. I don't think ETN is going to fall that far down.
Yeah, I mean, if ETN falls to you, you're doing the ultimate zig because he's a value if he gets to the back half or the end of the third, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't have many Breece Hall shares, so if I could get him late, I wouldn't mind that as well. I don't even think I have any, honestly. I think he probably should be going closer to this.
I think I have 1, maybe 2.
1 share. Yeah. It doesn't feel great when usually Kenneth Walker, Nick Chubb, some of these other guys are going then, and then you can take Najee or Swift even around later. So
there's my 2 values right now, and I'm wary of Swift more so than Najee, but.
Yeah, did you hear the report that came out? I think someone in The Athletic wrote an article saying that they could see a scenario where the Lions move on from DeAndre Swift. And they weren't necessarily saying in this offseason, but potentially down the road, which could signal like, hey, maybe we're looking to trade him now.
Yep.
But I do think that he has a lot of talent, and maybe a trade could only increase his value. If someone's like, oh no, I want that on my team, I think that could be very interesting.
Yeah, I think he's going now where it makes sense for a guy like him to go. Like, I think his value is actually normalized to the point where it's like, it makes sense. What's he, 50 right now, I think?
Who 51? Did we say? Yeah, Swift. Yeah, and he was going a little bit before then too. Ooh, okay, let's see. Maybe this guy doesn't think we're going to go hyper fragile and will leave Hall for us. But I'm taking Hall if he's there, and I'll take the other quarterback. Oh, that's what he did. All right, so we're definitely going to get trapped under this avalanche. We're probably going to have like 12 wide receivers on this team. But I'm fine.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I got to mix it up a little bit. So
I like Breece. Lock in the hyper fragile. Just grab one more back late.
John is saying in our little text group to he wants Lamar Fields, but unfortunately we're gonna go hyper fragile. I still probably need to take a fourth running back at like the very end just because of Brees Hall's.
What are you doing at QB here?
I don't know. I feel like I have. I'm gonna go to my spreadsheet real quick. I'm not gonna pull it up on stream, but I want to see how many. I have. I have 7 Lamar teams and 6 Fields teams. I'm gonna go Lamar. I like Lamar a lot, so have some concern about like, okay, does he not play this season, or does he kind of have like a hold-in situation where he's kind of sleepwalking through training camp, making it difficult on the team? That's the main concern I have. But yeah, he's such a high upside player, and I do think that Todd Monken is a really good addition as the offensive coordinator there. He can be very creative, and he's adapted to his quarterbacks well wherever he's been. So I like that hire for them if Lamar stays.
Lamar at 37, as crazy as it seems, is a value.
Oh like yeah,
with where Hurts, Allen, and Mahomes are going, what they're 16, 17, 18, I think. If the quarterback market is really moving up, Lamar should be 25. He's going 12 picks after that.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if you compare him to the guys going right after him too, of this level of Lawrence, Herbert went.
Hey,
Fields did. But
I think T-Law will get into that level this year, in my opinion.
He's in a situation similar to Jalen Hurts was last year. We were all like, ooh, we feel really good about this, but there's a little bit of risk because we haven't seen it. A little bit of a new scenario with Calvin Ridley. And then he just totally smashed on that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're looking at this next year, talking about Trevor Lawrence in a big 3-4 with Mahomes, Allen, and Hurts. So that's a good one. Herbert, I'm a little bit less bullish on. I love the talent, but I'm just a little bit worried that they're not going to get it together in year one with some of those weapons. But yeah, let's see. They're talking about Hochberg's draft. Let's bring up who he's got. And I just want
on Lawrence, all I'll say is he was QB9 this year. So I think we have seen that top 10 upside already. And I think you add a weapon like Ridley, you get another year under Doug Peterson. You get Etienne a year removed from an injury, an additional year.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that offense could take a whole step forward.
And part of my issue with drafting them, though, is I don't know who is going to be the value between Kirk and Ridley. And it seems like they're both going very, very high to the point where they both might not be values, as Jan takes Godwin here at 47, which I don't hate.
Jan is about to get some sweet Najee value here.
Because the thing with Lawrence for me is like, all right, do you want to – I might be okay taking like 48, 49 Kirk – Lawrence, but
what's the board right now?
Is this not up? Am I not showing? Oh yeah.
Sorry, the players.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, here. So Lawrence is down here just because that's where I have him in my ranking. But you could go.
I've made that pick in a slow draft. Lawrence Kirk right around there.
Oh, John with Najee at 50.
Yep, that's what I was saying. Nice value.
Really good value.
That's smart too. He took the wideout he wanted because the guy picking one had 3 backs and just knew he could get Najee.
That's good. That's good. And DeAndre's still available. Anyway, DeAndre. No, I can't take another running back right now.
You could.
4 running backs in the first 5 rounds with no wide receivers. I think even that's a little bit too extreme for me. I'm getting a little bit of wide receiver FOMO here, if I'm being completely honest. I am probably going to try and take Bateman a little bit later, but I would love to get 2 of these 5 guys if I could. Just what pick will I be at? I'll be at 60, 61. Ooh, did Goddard? Yeah, Goddard's going early. I'll always take Pitts, but I feel like I need to go wide receiver or tight end here. Yeah, out of these wide receivers, are there any that you're liking a little bit more? Throw London in that equation too.
London is gone.
Yep.
I was going to say Terry, You know what I think you do here?
Hmm.
JSN,
Yeah,
if he's there.
it's a high upside swing where you're
Yep.
like, all right, maybe this falls on. Okay, no, he won.
Never mind. I like. I'm thinking about Lockett versus Keenan here.
Yeah, or JMO. JMO feels like a risky kind of JSN.
I don't think
type
JMO
pick.
is a pick when you start with 3 running backs and a quarterback. I don't think he's a pick here.
Yeah. What are your
But
it
is a
thoughts
swing.
here? Lockett probably does offer me some floor that I probably can't
Yep.
be getting elsewhere.
I think it's.
And for the upside pick of Judy or Pitts, I'm probably not taking Keenan.
I would not take Pitts. I would.
Yeah.
I'm probably Lockett Judy here. I'm thinking about Keenan, but maybe Evans, but
Yeah, and I don't have a ton of Evans either.
like get 2 vets who you know are going to get 100 plus targets.
Yeah.
When you started how you started.
I like that. And this will be somewhat unique. I doubt there's a ton of Mike Evans on this side of the board in the 60s. He's been going around 67, 68 for most.
I was thinking Deontay, but I think there's a chance he gets back.
I think he gets back. He can maybe make it to that end of the 7 turn. Maybe not in this draft the way the wide receivers are coming off, but so not a great start, to be quite honest. Not my favorite, but it's a different layer of texture that I'm not used to having. Getting one of Bijan and Breece Hall. It's a very, very risky team, and I'm kind of going all in on those 3 running backs. But there's a scenario where weeks 15 through 17, like those are the 3 guys that you need at the end of the year. So I'm okay with it. Definitely need to piss yellow a little bit, and good that this is just another pissing yellow the entire time. Yeah, this isn't great.
But there are some guys late.
Yeah,
I've been looking at the board. Like a guy like Michael Gallup is going, I think, in the 170s. And does he have another decent year, a year removed from a surgery? You know, no, he's not an elite guy, but can he get you some splash weeks? You know, yes, I think so. Even if he's wide receiver 3 there.
I like
it's guys like that versus like, you know, what's his name? TJ Hyatt. No, versus a Jalen Hyatt. You want to take a guy with, you want more vets on this build.
I agree. I think my risk is already baked in, so getting as many kind of floor plays, especially in this sort of 8 to 13, 14th round range, I think is probably going to be pretty important. Nice. And I would like to get Bateman coming around too, if I'm going to be assuming that this is a Lamar on the Ravens build, which I don't have to, but I do like sprinkling in a Raven on his builds, maybe throwing in some Lions, or I guess the Falcons are already gone. That was one thing I guess I kind of liked about Pitts. Pitts went at 66, Pacheco up to 65. Interesting.
Hawk reached on him. I don't agree with the rationale going on in our text group.
I'll take a look.
John is leaning into stacking teams too much right now, I think. Like he got annoyed at you for taking Lockett and was telling Hawk to take Pacheco because he has Mahomes, which is just not the right rationale, in my opinion. I like Pacheco.
Yeah.
But I don't think you take him because you have Mahomes.
Yeah, and I think people have done studies that most RB1s and QB1s are negatively correlated. So if one of them is doing well, it means the other one doesn't do well, which isn't necessarily the best thing that you want for best ball. With Mahomes teams, maybe I kind of get it, but I don't mind. I don't think reaching on him. I guess he's probably not making it back to 80, but it's a weird part in the draft after some of these wide receivers go. No, I guess I'm taking Ayuk every time over Pacheco in the 60s. I am not a big fan of Marquise Brown, though. Nice that JK went there. So a couple running backs making me feel a little bit better about where my running back heavy start was. But so John went Dobbins. Okay, wow. So he's got JJ, DK, Godwin, Chubb, Najee, Dobbins. That's a pretty good start. I can't complain there. Pickens, interesting.
Sorry, I was munching for a second. I agree. I don't get why Hollywood's going that high. I don't think Kyler plays. He might get traded. What are your thoughts on Javonte? Like, I don't know I have a share, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, so I got a notification, I think this morning or last night, that they're already saying that the timeline is not looking good for him. So if you were already hearing that, this was an injury that wasn't a clean tear of the ACL, and we've seen injuries like that definitely not have the player get back to even close to where they were in year one. Breece Hall is definitely going to be back, where there's a chance that Javonte just doesn't play the entire year. If the Broncos are especially not in it, like, he's definitely starting at least the first four games on PUP, and I would be surprised if he's even 60% of the workload by November, December. So don't love him when you can take a guy like Dobbins, or even Akers, actually, I feel like has more upside than Javonte for this year. Still love the long-term potential, but it was a bad knee injury. That's not something that is going to be easy for him to come back from.
Oh, John taking DJ, I like it.
Yeah, and
I really
honestly,
like his start.
I think that's a good place to take him. Yeah, Bateman here, I'd love it, but I don't think he's making it 5 more picks. Burks would be very happy with. I don't have too much QJ, so nope, and he just went. Let's see.
Yeah, I've not been interested in him at all. Hawk said he's reaching on Tony.
Wow.
What pick was that?
80. So he's going about.
I mean, 10. I think he's going to be there soon. I think the hype is coming.
I agree. I
don't agree with it, but
I'm taking
it's
him.
Coming.
I'm taking him later though. Like, I'm taking him closer to that 9. Like, he can probably get him at, what pick does Hawk have coming up? 89. He can probably take him at 89. So really hope this guy doesn't take a wide receiver, but would not be surprised if he does. If I get Bateman Burks here, I'd be thrilled. There you go. Okay.
That's very nice.
That's very nice. I was definitely not taking Dak, so okay. Because here is almost like a little bit of like a tier end after these guys. And honestly, Bateman I don't even love if it's not on a Lamar team. So getting Burks there, I kind of like Dotson and Zay. But then as you can see in my rankings, I have actually I should probably move up Cooks and Myers a little bit more. They're kind of, I guess this whole tier should probably be a little bit higher, but
I think your rankings are fair, because typically you are starting much more wide receiver heavy and need running backs at this point in the draft.
Yeah. So this is a little bit weird right now, just because I definitely need wide receivers. But usually especially when I'm going 0 RB, it's kind of like, can I get my wide receiver 5 or 6 around this point, and then start filling in guys like Njoku or Ingram or Robinson at those other positions, and making sure that I do have a quarterback, but I don't need that right now with Lamar. Any potential stack? So Geno could be a consideration. I might let John get him though.
John will be mad at you.
Yeah, sorry, John. And honestly, with Lamar, I don't need him. And there are some other. I guess it's interesting because I got Evans and Burks right now. People are saying maybe they move Evans, but I don't know if they do. So what kind of happens at the quarterback positions in Tennessee and in Tampa? They almost seem like less certain than some of the other ones. Like, we know Houston or Indy are taking a rookie. We know the Jets and the Saints kind of want to get a vet, but with the Buccaneers and the Titans, they can kind of go in a bunch of different ways. So any thoughts on where you think those teams go at quarterback?
Trey Lance is going to be a Titan.
Whew. That's a hot take. All right,
and I actually think the Bucks roll Trask out there and tank for Caleb.
But the thing is, I don't think the rest of their team is that bad enough to do that. It's like the same reason why it didn't make sense for the Steelers like not to take a quarterback last year, because it wasn't like they were going to be in the top 10 this year without getting Kenny Pickett, you know. So I just
They might have been if they kept Mitch in there on 17 games.
That's true. So I worry that they're going to be like just kind of good enough to like not be in that Drake May, Caleb Williams talk and just kind of be stuck in this kind of purgatory. So I could see them maybe trying to compete, but I really don't know. And it doesn't seem like the Titans want to keep Tannehill, at least after this year. So it's kind of hard to figure out where they're going to go. But yeah, looking at the board, I'm probably going to keep going wide receiver. Would love if some of these other guys fell to me. Even in Njoku, I wouldn't mind. Have I taken a tight end? I haven't taken a tight end. Yeah, Dalton Schultz.
Did John just take a quarterback?
Yeah, he took Cousins because he's got JJ, which makes sense. Which I like that. So yeah, let's take a look at John. You got Jefferson, DK, Chubb, Godwin, Harris, Dobbins, DJ Cousins. Let's see where he. Okay, Zay there. That's nice value, 96 for Zay. Where does he? Yeah, taking a long time in this draft. Tua, does he have Waddle? No. Gordon Hill? No. Naked. Interesting. Like, why not go Lance there if you're going to take a naked quarterback? And
I think. Well, that guy has a red badge, but I was going to say, I think we're seeing more casual drafters get into the best ball space.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some weird drafts as a result. But that doesn't apply to that guy.
Yeah.
Because that means he's either won a lot or just played a lot.
Yeah. Maybe he's one of the played a lot guys.
Hey, that's me.
Hey, you got to get there somehow. You know, you got to fake it till you make it, right? Yeah, weird going Tua there, though. Because I just think Lance is such a good value in the 9th round as it is. And if you have the stack option, I'd try and take advantage of that. But, yeah, and so
I do think
Njoku's a nice pick. Go ahead.
I think this could be the year of the post-type sleeper, where a lot of these guys like Lance, just like guys who were really hyped up last year who have dropped, like Lance. Najee was a top 5 pick last year and is now going in the 40s. Kyle Pitts is going in the 6th round instead of the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to be some guys like that. Maybe Cam Akers, you know?
Yeah.
Who hit at the value that they should have been going last year.
Yeah, and some of that was injuries. Some of that was just unluckiness. Yeah. Like, you look at the Falcons and how much they were passing the ball versus running the ball, and it was like, okay, that just was unfortunate. You're getting 20-25% of the target share and you're still not producing as the tight end. It's like that's going to come back down to earth at some point. So I agree on a lot of those. I think that's a smart. Okay, he went Juju. Interesting. So yeah, Hochberg's team real quick: Adams, Mahomes, Olave, Pollard, Terry, Pacheco, Tony, Dotson, Juju. I hope he doesn't think he's stacking Juju with Kansas City, because he's not going to be there. I see. That's what he just told him. All right, so we're up next. Oh, let me get Hyatt, please. All right.
There you go.
And maybe do I just go Geno and just be done at quarterback and just piss off John? And John already's got a quarterback.
I want to see the reaction, so yeah.
Yeah, just for the reaction, let's do it. I'm going to double check to make sure there's no other. Yeah, I don't know. These wide receivers seem like they're in a different tier than Hyatt for me. If I had a Fields or a Watson or a Burrow, I'd take him. But yeah, let's do Geno. Ah, love it. All right, fun. So probably done at quarterback now with a Lamar Geno start, which means I can get weird in other ways. So based on how this is going, I like Knox. If Knox fell an extra round, I'd definitely grab him. And honestly, a guy I'm trying to get more of is Chig. He put
I
up
love Knox this year in the 120s.
Yeah, Knox is good. I definitely need more of him. Like, yeah, the fact that Greg is going there, I love Greg, you know that, but in the 130s just seems so steep. There's just so much uncertainty around the position. Yeah, so what else? Yeah, I guess I'm taking these wide receivers if they're available. I don't really love Komet.
What are your thoughts on my wild slow start that I sent earlier? I can read you the players.
Yeah, no, I'll pull it up. Actually, yeah, because the chat has lost that. So yeah, please do. Please tell me.
So I had the third pick. I went Jamar 3, Pat 22 because he fell 5 picks past ADP.
That's nice.
ETN 27, a little bit of a reach, but that's my guy.
Yep.
And then on the board at 46 was Burrow. So having passed on the Burrow Chase stack because I had Pat and taking ETN, I took Burrow at 46, and then I just took Najee at 52. So my start is Chase, Najee, ETN, Mahomes, Burrow. I'm calling it my hero wide receiver build, and I'm about to draft like 11 wideouts, 3 tight ends, 4 running backs, and just stop with those 2 quarterbacks.
You know, it's unique, and maybe that's suboptimal for the regular season, but that could be something where if you alternate weeks with Mahomes, Burrow in the playoffs, like that could be the difference of sneaking one of those guys in as the only quarterback going off that week. So I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I think that's a fun start. You know, you're not going to be doing that every draft, especially getting Burrow almost two rounds past ADP.
20 picks late.
You're like, okay, like can't say no to that on a Chase team. I wonder what the Higgins owner was doing at that time.
I don't know. And I was like, I took Mahomes because I was like, all right, there are going to be a lot of Chase Burrow stacks just based on ADP. Like, there's going to be a lot of that. So I was like, I like Mahomes here. He fell a little bit. The Kelsey owner took Hurts over Mahomes, which I didn't get. I guess trying to get different, but I don't think there are nearly as many Pat Kelsey stacks as there are, Chase Burrow.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly surprised to get Pat there. And then, I'm trying to get a little weird. I have a couple others that I'm getting weird with. Like, I think I have a Lawrence Burrow build out there.
Ooh.
With Chase, Kirk. Let me look. I'll find it.
Yeah, and I like taking those stabs on those kind of mini stacks of only getting kind of 1 or 2 of those guys, but getting 2 elite quarterbacks, though, and kind of saying, all right, let's pick up the value elsewhere with just depth and see if that plays out. Because I don't think a lot of teams are thinking about depth. I think they're thinking about balance. And so you're going to probably see a lot of 3 quarterback, 6-8, 3 type of teams. But if you can get weird with it, there's going to be value to be had by getting kind of funky with it. So I like that.
Here's the squad.
Yeah,
it's a little board.
Team. Yeah.
It's a little board. It's not which I'm realizing we should not have done a little board
together.
Yeah. That was stupid.
I know. And also do it that early as well with only 2 of them. Like, there's going to be more information coming out in 2 or 3 weeks, and that's not going to be filled. So we live and we learn. Yeah.
Whatever. It was fun.
$3.
So I had 5th pick, got Chase at 5.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
So,
what?
Yeah. I went Chase Higgins. Oh, this team is fun. This team is really fun. All right, I'm just going to go top to bottom so far on this team.
Yeah.
QB, Burrow, Lawrence.
Uh-huh.
Running back, Dobbins at 77. Algier at 92, which is like 9 picks after ADP. I know you don't love him, but...
No, you get him late, though. That's fine. It still has upside.
I took Jamal at 116. And Achane, how do you say it?
I don't know. I say a chain. But I don't know if that's right. Yeah, a chain.
That's my running back so far. Then I have Chase Higgins. So I have the double stack in Cincy. Then I have Calvin. So I have Lawrence Calvin. Zay Flowers,
Oh,
KJ Osborne, and then at tight end I have Goddard and Knox.
are you gonna go one more tight end? You think? Or you think you might be done there? Here, real quick, we just got on the
Oh,
clock.
you're up. Let's go.
There's
Palmer, baby.
yeah. So Palmer
Yes.
fell. So the question is, for that second option, do you take the dart throw on Thomas or do you take the dart throw on Butte? I think there's a tier of upside that kind of comes after those two that I wouldn't be thrilled to have. So what are your thoughts on Thomas or Butte?
What pick is it?
133. So it'd be right at Butte's ADP.
You know I don't love Thomas.
Yeah. And I think I have more of him. I'm going to,
So I would lean Booty there.
yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go Butte. I like that. Okay. Cool. So got 7 wide receivers now after 12, after starting pretty running back, quarterback heavy. I think this may wind up being a 4 late tight end build. Oh, Chig wouldn't have been bad there either. I kind of like Chig in that 130s. I think he should be going around higher. I'll probably bring
I'm worried he's the Alberto of this year.
So that's such a good comparison because he's the athletic score slash like yards per route run slash like EPA darling this offseason. I'll look up the tweet last time, but there's some metric where like the only other 4 guys in like the last 5 years who put up the thresholds that he did was like Jefferson, Hopkins, and like some other like ridiculous like wide receiver. And you're like, okay, like that's a pretty cool season. And it was all efficiency based stuff. So Alberto is a really good comparison there. I think because things are a little bit more stable with the coaching staff rolling over,
That's fair.
I'm hoping that's not the case, but he's definitely the guy who's hyped up where he has the efficiency on the small sample size. Can he build that out to be an elite tight end 1? So I'm a big fan. I'll take that swing in these types of formats, especially as my tight end 1. Just like, okay, let's see at this point.
Yeah.
Because after him, it's like the upside is very, very limited at tight end. Like, yeah, Taysom Hill could get to be a tight end 1 from like
He's going too high. I'm not going to touch him.
I'm not like I take a share or 2 of him if he gets to like the 160s, but he's usually not getting there.
He's a gadget guy who scored a lot of touchdowns last year. Like it's just not. I don't know. This happens with Taysom Hill every few years. And like he was a great pick last year at the last round, but I don't think he's a good pick in the 140s this year or wherever he's going.
Yeah, I get why he's ranked in this area for tight ends, like just number wise, but I don't think the tight end should be really going here for the most part unless you really like a Chig upside swing. Like otherwise, wait another 2 rounds for this sort of Gesicki, Mayer tier of guys. Even guys like Everett, I'm just not really touching too much.
I agree. I got one for you here.
Yeah.
That team I just read out to you is on the clock.
Okay.
I can reread them quickly if you need the guys.
Now, tell me the structure that you have right now first. I kind of remember the names.
2-4-5-2. I'm light at running back.
Yeah. Okay.
Board right now. I just have it ADP wise. I mean, it's pick 164, top of the board. Sky Moore, Claypool, Samuel, McKinnon, Singletary, Foreman, Damian Harris. Gesicki's on there too, but not with my tight end structure. I kind of want to go Sky. I think Sky has a value this year. Like,
no, I love Sky. I'm just thinking about your build. Say the running backs one more time, and just let me just see if there's someone that sticks out. But that was the one when you were listing out the wide receivers. Like I have him very high compared to ADP.
And he's 10 picks after ADP here.
Yeah,
he's
well,
at
I guess
154. I'm at 164.
Wow, then yeah, that's really good value. His ADP was probably around 160, 164 a week or so ago. I didn't understand that. So
he's the Kansas City Rise I like. I don't like the Tony Rise. Yeah,
I get the upside play, but if I'm taking a bet, I'm gonna probably have 2 to 3 times more exposure than Tony at the end of this
Yes,
tournament
I
if their
agree.
ADP stay the same. Because this is an area of the draft where I don't love a lot of guys either. Like, I probably should move Sky up to this Rondale Gallup tier. Honestly, I had him lower because I didn't need to take him there a week ago when I did this. So I'll definitely be moving him up a bit. I might be taking him here, honestly.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take him. There's 4 running backs on the board. I'm up in 7 picks. There's a guy with 5 running backs, a guy with 4 running backs inside of me. So, like, I think one of McKinnon, Singletary, Foreman, Harris, Pirine will be there.
Yeah, and those are all pretty similar.
Yeah, and I like the Moore pick. And if all those guys are gone, I'll take Rashad Penny.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and that's how I'm looking at Penny too. Is like, yeah, I want to mix in some of those other guys, but they're all in the same tier. So if I wind up getting Penny, I'm okay with reaching on him there. Nice. I think I might be taking Moore if he can fall to me here. It looks like they might be taking a wide receiver though, so don't know.
I'm surprised Hawk didn't take him. Going for the mega stacks. That's what they're focused on.
And I guess he was going with Juju, but all right, we're getting at least one of them.
Can I see his team? He said maybe stupid, but I'm trying a stack. I want to see what his team looks like. What stack was he going for?
Let me.
Oh, you're up. We'll do it after you pick.
Yeah. After I pick, I'll go. But I really hope I get one of these. If I don't get one of these wide receivers,
dude, Rondale is a guy I am not touching this year.
So he's one of those guys where it's like I think the team could be so bad that he's the only guy that's like doing anything. Nice.
Give me Greg Dortch in the 20th before Rondale in the 13th.
Like, so what other wide receiver? So I'm taking Sky here, obviously, but like if you're not taking Rondale here, like what's your next?
DJ Chark, baby.
I might go Nico over him too.
That's fair. I like both of them better. Also, tight end. I think you should probably take a peek at tight end here.
But like I could go Mayer.
No. Yeah,
but
no,
I don't.
Just wait.
I have good value on Mayer from earlier.
You're right.
He's only going to be going up. Running back, not with.
You don't need a back.
Yeah, I don't need a quarterback, so it's kind of the wide receiver. So
I like
these,
Chark or Collins. You're calling.
I have a lot of Chark. Let's go Collins.
I like it. He gets QB. He's someone I need more of.
Yeah, and I forget if you mentioned this or if it was someone else I was talking to, but they were talking about Mechie, and someone asked the question, does he even play next year? And I'm like, we hope so, but we don't know that for sure right now. No, we don't. So we could see a scenario where they even draft a kind of quicker, speedier wide receiver with either their 12th pick or their second round pick and let Nico continue playing that outside role, which I think he did okay in, given the circumstances of playing on the Texans. So I don't mind him at 157 there, especially on this build.
I agree. I like Nico. I am not sold on Mechie again, just coming off of, a terrible thing, but it is hard to. I think it took James Conner like a long time, a good year to get back into it, into football shape in college. Like he was probably going to be a higher pick before he got sick in school. So we're all rooting for the guy, of course, but I think Nico is a smart pick there. Dude, I am loving this build for me right now.
From me?
As far as a Zig build goes,
right?
Pissing yellow, you have hit on a lot of guys late, in my opinion, that I really like. Like Palmer's going to get you some weeks. Sky Moore's going to get you some weeks.
Yep.
Nico's like those three. Nico's going to get you weeks. Then you have the 2 rookies for upside. I think Burks could be a wide receiver 2 this year if Malik Willis isn't throwing him the ball. Like this is, I like this team a lot. I got another one on the clock.
Yeah, and
see it.
Oh yeah, you do? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. All right, I'll run down the squad quick. It is a 13th round. I'll have 2 picks here probably. Squad so far: Lamar, Lance, Taylor, Bijan, Gainwell, Terry, Tyler Lockett, Bateman, Dotson, Mike T, Mark Andrews, and Njoku. I'm probably done at both quarterback and tight end. Maybe a third quarterback with Lance,
Say the tight ends again. Njoku
and Mark Andrews. So I'm done at tight end.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's a Baltimore stack.
Who are the wide receivers available?
So it's Gallup, Sky Moore, Claypool, Curtis Samuel again.
What pick are you?
I am pick 11.
Sorry, it's
155. So it's a little bit of value on Gallup. He's at 147.
I like
right
Sky there. I like Sky there too. Too.
I think Sky's a play there. You don't think I go?
Yeah. Who's the other one you're thinking about?
I'm thinking about running backs because I only have 3 running backs.
But you have 2 very good ones, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Bijan, it's your 2, your top 2.
Yeah.
Taylor, Bijan.
So yeah, just list them to see if there's any value.
Spears, Mostert, McKinnon, Foreman, Harris. I think I take Sky and then I'm up in 2 picks and I just pick a running back there.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the difference between like if like a chain was still there, I'd probably take a chain over some of those running backs. But yeah, like we're in this part of the draft as well for me, and like Singletary, Harris, Foreman, Fournette, Bigsby, they're like, I don't know. I don't love them where they're going. Interesting. So running backs, I'm feeling a lot better about going heavy running back early because there's some like Bigsby going in the 150s now, McKinnon in the 150s, Spears early 150s. Like these running backs are kind of starting to fly here a little bit. So hopefully I get Shakir. That'd be awesome. I doubt it though. I don't know. Maybe I do. 180. Like if Mechie's there, maybe I'll take a stab. This isn't really like a Bryce Young's already gone, but it's not really going to be that build anyway. I don't love that. Who are some other guys?
Let's see John and Hawk's teams quickly.
Yeah. So Hawk.
So Adams, you can pull up just their teams, by the way.
Yeah, but I think that goes away though if like when someone picks. See, then it just goes back to my team. Yeah. No, because
you're about to be up, so never mind. Let's focus on the board.
So
this draft is speeding up a little bit.
Yeah, Shakir.
So I like a back here for you. I like a receiver, and then getting one of those guys.
I really hope I get Shakir. It's kind of a tier.
Shakir Evans here would be fun. You get a rookie upside with your 3 backs.
Yeah,
and then the wide receiver 2 in Buffalo.
Oh, Evans went. So, I have
like Shakir.
Yeah, let me take Shakir. Let me bring up all the running backs here. Any other names sticking out to you? It's not a ton of value.
No, I'd almost. What's the tight end board right now? Nobody.
I'm not taking Hurst. I can wait another turn for. So maybe I do just take like my last wide receiver here, and then just because I'm only taking one more running back.
Yeah, I don't mind Mechie. I don't mind a little Terrace Marshall swing.
Yeah,
I don't think you go Shakir and McKenzie.
Yeah, let's take a little Mechie swing and see if we can get a
little Houston swing.
Yeah. What if the Houston Texans trade the number 1 overall pick for Lamar Jackson?
There you go.
Who says no? They get to get Stroud or Bryce Young or whoever they want to be as their next quarterback, and Texans have the cap space to do it. You know, maybe they're not competing year 1 for a Super Bowl, but they got a couple young players. You use your 2nd round pick or your second first round pick on a wide receiver. Number 1 pick for that's what this build will be. This will be the Lamar to the Texans build that no one saw coming.
Lamar Geno trade.
Ooh.
You still get the Baltimore Seattle stacks, just a little different.
Interesting. Yeah, that Geno would be interesting there. I wonder how him and Bateman would go. They would need to start investing in wide receiver a little bit more with probably
Yes.
whoever they get their first round pick from. But
Which would be funny to see that after they like refused to invest while Lamar was on a rookie deal.
yeah. So I guess where we're at with this build, let me just actually go to my team. 2-3-11-0. So I think this is going to wind up being a 2-4-11-4 build, which is absolutely ridiculous.
I love it.
But I love it though. Like the balance is there though with this team. So
I mean, if your backs hit, which is what you're hoping for, taking
Yeah.
2 backs to
Yeah.
turn, you're
You know,
in great shape.
you
Like,
can patch
bye
it
weeks will be
together.
a little funky, but who cares?
Yeah. So would love to get Penny or Warren here, but if not, okay, and Penny's already gone. I'm not getting either of them. But who are some of these other guys? Dwayne McBride's a fun name. Deuce Vaughn is a fun name.
Jerome.
Yeah, Jerome I don't have a ton of. I'm totally good taking Jerome. And I'm like, I guess I also have to take tight end, so I can maybe wait a little bit longer on running back too.
Yeah.
Maybe just reach on him. I'm just going to list a few other guys I like right now. But then at tight end position, okay, finally Zach Ertz is falling. I never understood why he was. I'm still not touching him there. But Hayden Hurst, okay, I was going to say I would take him as a. Yeah, but I don't like that for John, though, because I think Hurst is going to leave. I don't think they're going to re-sign him. He was only there for a 1-year deal. So he's getting all these guys who he thinks are going to be on the team.
I also like, I know he doesn't like when I give advice on this stuff, especially because he went further than me in BBM, but like, did we not just learn that like super stacks are not really the move?
Yeah.
Like you want 1 to 3 guys, you don't want 5 guys on the same team. I think that was one of my learnings from last year.
Same. It's a cool story to tell yourself in August of like, oh, they can kind of ping pong weeks in the playoffs, but then if you're really doing that, you're just like narrowing the upside in the regular season too.
But even taking a step back, like thinking about spike weeks, even if the Bengals go for 45, let's say.
Yeah.
Burrow throws 4 touchdowns. 2 to Chase, 1 to Higgins, 1 to Hurst. There are going to be guys that outscore Higgins and Hurst on that week.
Yeah.
Like you're limiting your overall upside by super stacking, in my opinion.
Sure.
Unless a team goes for like 70, which that doesn't happen. Like the Burrow Chase stacks hit in 2021, not the Burrow Chase Higgins. Although I do think what's his name, the tight end, did have a big game during the best ball playoffs that year, but it wasn't like 5 guys. It was like you hit the main stack and then your ancillary players also put up 2-3 scores. Like it's, I am personally fading overloading on teams, like especially a team like that where like what the main play is.
Yeah. And
like for Washington, what Hawk is doing, I like it because it's like if Howell hits, we don't know if it's going to be Terry or Dotson that hits with Howell.
Sure.
So I like having 2 options there. Yeah, I'm kind of butchering this, but I hope it makes sense. Like
no, that
for
makes
the
sense.
elite stacks, you lean into those guys. Ambiguous stacks, you take a couple.
Yeah, and I think the value of when you're getting them too, like right now, there's so much ambiguity in the end of drafts, but like I could see a situation where if Mac Jones is staying here, like I don't mind getting 3 players on the Patriots with Mac Jones, as long as all those guys are going after the 14th round as well, as like that kind of makes sense. But if you're going to start, like just for example here, like a Chase, Higgins, Burrow, you're basically hoping for the best, like one of the best quarterback seasons ever for you to like really hit on that ADP. We're up next, and the tight ends went.
Jelani, baby.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Warren is there.
Yikes.
I'm gonna Warren. But then I got to go 4 tight ends in a row. Wait, 18, 19. Oh wait, no. Well, all right, got to end with 3 tight ends then. So I messed up. Wait, no. Yeah, no, I am taking a 4th. Okay, so I'm taking 3 tight ends. So Fant stack with Geno.
Yeah. Yep.
like I don't have too many Fant stacks as it is. I know it wasn't a good year, but we're gonna take two more
He
of these.
has spike week potential too.
Yeah.
He could rip one for a 50-yard score, which is all you need from a tight end.
So
who's not named Travis Kelce.
I'm getting a little bit weak at tight end. Definitely going to be my weakest position overall. But with a team like this, I don't totally hate it. I would love to get Kincaid, but I don't think he's going to fall. Conklin, Ferguson, Cotton. Are there any other tight ends in this kind of range that you're interested in?
I guess this is more for a tight end build, but I was going to say I don't mind like a Fortson or a Parham swing. Like Everett could be a cap casualty, and Parham could be the guy.
Yeah. So I have Parham in this range.
Jesus, Miami's getting beat up.
Who?
Wow. Miami Heat. I just looked at the score.
Yeah.
We're down 40, 30.
Is Bam doing anything? Is he stat padding at least?
18, 7, and 1. A steal. Not a great night for Bam.
Okay. I have him going in on one of my small ball teams where I could use points from him tonight.
Good night from Drew. If you have any Drew.
Holiday?
Yeah. But double-double for Bobby Portis. It looks like Giannis started and then left early.
Ooh.
But they're still beating up Miami. Yeah, Giannis only put up 4 and then left the game, it looks like.
Okay. So
damn, Miami, what the hell?
That's good for that Giannis team of mine if I can sneak through with
any Garland? I think I have a Garland.
I don't think I have Garland available right now. He had a nice game. They played last night too.
33 and 2 steals.
Wow. So real quick, or I guess I want to review the teams. I want to review.
Sam. Let's go.
Who else is doing well?
My small ball's already at 360.
Oh,
in first place.
Yeah, that team's in first place.
Yeah,
that's real nice.
I have Shea and Garland who have both played one game and both are over 60 points.
Nice. Shea, I could use another big night or two from.
He might not play tonight.
No? Oh, man, that's not good. Okay. We'll be okay. There's a lot of weird injury stuff going on, so not operating on full potential is probably not the worst thing right now.
Yeah, I'm going to actually look it up because I took some Shea shares this morning in drafts. He is out. That's unfortunate.
Darn. Especially just coming off the All-Star break too. It's like I hate that it's just a rest day, right? There's not like an actual like.
No, injury. They said hip. But like, he was a late ad. I don't know. He might have just. They played last night. I'd imagine it's probably like.
Okay, that's true.
He tweaked something and they don't want to push it.
Yeah, I just hope that the end of the season, this isn't a theme for them where they're like, oh, let's go shut down SGA right now because we're trying to. Because they're 9-10 seeds, so they're just on the border as it is. So I can see them just shutting him down, which would not be great. But yeah, real quick, I'm gonna switch it over for a second and show you. Show you this Excel sheet. Yeah, this is one of the things that you can get from Underdog now. Oh. There you go. Yeah. This is one of the things you can get from Underdog now. I've created a pivot table to kind of show some of the...
Is this your exposure?
Yeah, so this is my exposure, not including this draft, obviously. But one of the things I've liked...
Yeah, my big screen.
Yeah, one of the things that I've liked. Yeah, one of the things that I've liked looking at though is this standard deviation thing right here. So it's basically the higher the standard deviation is, the bigger difference. You can see the minimum of pick and then maximum of pick. So you can see that there's bigger ranges. So these are the players that I'm like kind of less certain on. So wide receivers are a little bit less interesting, but for like the running back position, like seeing Jerick McKinnon, where at some points I was like, I kind of like it at 149. Some points I like him at 185. So like I want to go through our exposures and look at these high standard deviation ones and be like, all right, we are kind of flip-flopping, or we're seeing these players in different ways. Let's go through and talk through them and actually get an understanding of how we actually feel. Because this is showing that like, oh, well, we could take him at 160, but like we've also taken him at 176. So like, is he closer to 160, 176? So something I think would be fun to do going forward. So I'm also almost back on the clock for last pick, but yeah. So like, if you guys could all send me, we don't have to do this right now, obviously, but when we have a little bit more data.
Do you want it even with 9 teams?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's probably not with 9 teams. Like once we get a little bit more data, then let's try and add. We could like, I could add a filter of each individual one of us, so we could just filter on the same sheet, looking at all of ours. Okay, so what tight ends you picking right here? You got the runts of the litter. No real potential stacks. You know what? Actually, I am gonna get a little weird, and I'm gonna go Charlie Kolar. He was a tight end that was actually drafted above likely, and actually has okay, got him. Whew. Actually got some pass catching chops. So I like that as like no one else is taking him. Let me take a dart throw. But who do you like here? I'll give you this next pick.
After that, I go Cade, because I was gonna say Cade Parham, as Parham is like your swing.
Yeah.
But I think that Kohar guy is your swing. So take Cade, because I think he's gonna have a role.
I like Cade. Ferguson is usually my guy in this area. I think he's going to potentially take over that Schultz role. He was a second-round pick for Dallas last year, which people aren't really talking about because he was behind Schultz. But I think he could take over that sort of big body, 80 catch and
Schultz
fall
could
down.
be gone.
No, that's what I'm saying. Schultz is probably going to be gone because he was tagged last year, so it's going to cost too much to probably keep him. So I think they drafted Ferguson to be his replacement. So I really like that Ferguson pick as well. I'm trying to get more exposures of him. But real quick, I'll go over to my exposures and just get any little thoughts from you before we quickly go over John and Hawk's team before we wrap up. So let me go back to this. I'm getting better at the screen sharing this time after our first.
It looks good. I like the background.
Right? I'm mixing it up a little bit. I got a couple little graphic things going on. Oh, so you didn't. Here, I'll show you this too. So let me get this up first.
Yeah, I've been busy.
But in the beginning of the stream, I've got like, I think this will show up here. Let me put on the loop. So like, this will show up.
Oh, nice. Fancy.
So I'm trying to do like the little matrix thing where it's like it falling down, but obviously I'm not like a graphic design person, so it doesn't look like that. But eventually I'll get someone to do it.
I might be able to help you a little bit with that stuff.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's not a great skill of mine, but I'm capable.
Yeah, I was just doing it on Canva. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see John and Hawk's team. Oh, Canva is great. Graphic design for dummies. Let's see.
When I want to, when the draft finishes, I want to bring that up so that we can actually stay on their team. But real quick, some of my higher exposures just for times drafted, descending. You've kind of seen a lot of these, but anything that kind of stand out to you, just from the top level. Richardson's a guy I've been taking a lot of recently and getting good value on. I've even gotten him last pick of the draft where he's going 180s now. But yeah, anything here that stands out that's too high or you don't like?
I'm worried how aligned we are. I have Deontay that high. I want Eli that high. I like say B-Rob. I mean, obviously it's 9 teams, but my current exposure right now, Sorry, 10 teams. I have Najee on 7 of my 10 teams.
Wow.
I have Brian Robinson on 4 of 10, Kenny on 3 of 10. The guy I have high that you don't, Elijah Moore. He's one of those like post hype guys
Yeah.
that I like a lot.
I probably need to move him up a little bit. I do like him, and I do think that they're going to get a
Deontay's
quarterback.
only on 3, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know nothing's crazy up there. The rookie tight end Kincaid worries me a little bit just because rookie tight ends typically don't produce heavily.
Yeah.
But worth a swing.
Yeah. So we'll switch over real quick. We'll bring up the draft, and then beautiful draft. Okay. Now let me share.
Sorry, I'm looking for something.
No, you're good. All right.
I'll get in the next draft. I just didn't think drafting with 4 of us was a great idea.
Yeah, no, that was the right call. Honestly, I probably will. I'm fine hopping out too, and then just commentating on your guys' drafts as well. So.
Yeah, I was not quite ready at 8:55.
Yeah, John was itching to go, but okay. So looking at the teams, go Jan first. Cousins, Pickett as his 2 quarterbacks. Okay.
Yikes.
Yeah, you're
a little light there
if
for a
you,
big board with 20 rounds.
And then if you're stacking them, you know what? He's stacking them. He's getting okay. I'm okay with it. It's fragile, but I get it. There's too many running backs here. Chubb, Harris, Dobbins. Like, you should basically be done after 5.
John, I gotta know. Not that he's like the Latavius. Like, I get a sprinkle of it. But he's taken him a lot, I feel like, in these drafts he's sharing. And a lot of times it's a build like this where he has a few elite guys. And it's like, that's not a guy you pick when you have 3 running backs in the first 7 rounds.
Yeah, I like him in 0 RB builds a lot. But yeah, and also something to keep in mind with John is he's also been known to auto draft at the end of drafts a lot. So there's a very good chance that Michael Carter, Latavius Murray.
I don't hate Carter. Like, he's not great, but like he could have some relevant weeks early. Again, probably not with a build like this. But
yeah, not that's what I'm saying. Like after I actually kind of like getting McBride there, but then after that, it's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, when you get Singletary, like that's 4 guys with a role. I like his wideouts. I'm never a huge Tyler Boyd guy at his cost, but
yeah, I think the best.
John,
thing...
what are you doing with 3 wideouts on the same team, my guy?
Well, he's going all in. You know, with if you're going
too much.
But if you're going fragile quarterback like he is, I get doing that. I don't, and I guess I don't think Thielen stays on the team. I think he gets cut, honestly. But I guess I just don't like Thielen in general. That's part of my problem. Is I really don't like Thielen.
Thielen was done 2 years ago. He just scored a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, this was a really good start, and like I just would have the last like 3-4 picks. I probably would have mixed up a little bit more.
My guy needs to get into more slow drafts because he does really well, but I think he gets bored because big boards take a long time.
That's true. No, that's exactly what's happening. And Hochberg, 4 quarterbacks with Mahomes. That's aggressive.
He auto picked Ritter, but
okay.
I guess I wouldn't mind Howell Will Levis just because Howell's a little
I like
fragile as a backup.
Yeah, I like if you're taking a second round quarterback, I like going too late with them. I like 2 quarterbacks if you're taking them both within the top 100 picks, 110 picks, something like that. But if not, then I'm totally fine taking Mahomes and 2 guys, especially with 20 rounds. You can afford that.
That's very true.
So I don't mind that at all. Pollard, Pacheco, fine. Don't love it. Zeke, you're getting a little bit of value on, but I'm just not a huge Zeke fan. Spears, I don't hate there. It's a fine running back room.
I don't like Mostert where he's going this year.
I don't like him either.
He was going later last year,
and
which I guess makes sense. But
kind of. But we don't even know if he's going to be back on the Dolphins, and we don't really feel great about him on another team as like a 31-year-old free agent running back who didn't have a great year last year. Like like the upside, I just don't think is there when you're a 31, 32-year-old running back if you're not getting like the volume like an Adrian Peterson did at that age. So yeah, don't necessarily love Mostert. I don't have a ton of him, but
I was very high on him last year, as you know, and I'm very low on him this year.
yeah, and I like the wide receiver start. I like getting Adams there, Olave, Terry, and then yeah, Tony we talked about already, a little bit of a reach, but I really don't mind Dotson as well. He wound up getting Thomas.
I don't mind MT there. 10 picks after
Yeah.
MVP.
No, I like that dart throw, and as your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th wide receiver, like yeah, that's fine. Like he only needs to have 2 or 3 big weeks, and then he can get hurt and not play, and you'll be fine. So totally fine with that. And then
he might be weaker at tight end than you are.
yeah,
no, he has Schultz, but yeah,
but he like there's a world where Schultz is going in the 150s, 160s if he just goes to a team that we just don't think is going to pass the ball too much or has a bunch of other weapons that are actually better than him. Where he was just good because of volume. He wasn't good because he was an efficient player. So yeah, any other last thoughts on Hawkberg's team or John's team before we sign off here?
They both start hot, but I think they still need to polish up a little bit, and I think we all do.
Yeah.
I think you're obviously in the best shape right now with your volume. But I feel like they both need to get out of the 2022 mindset a little bit and adjust the approach.
Agreed. We're moving on to bigger and brighter things in the 2023 big board draft. How do I remove this? Here we go. Have us in the background there. This is fun. It's nice doing this. Getting a nice little chat with someone else in here. So thanks for hopping in. I'm sure we got plenty more of these to go.
I'll draft next time so that you guys can rip my team apart while I'm ripping these guys' picks apart.
Nice. Awesome. But for myself, Childs, thank you, John and Hawk, for hopping in and letting us talk shit about your teams. Thank you, and good night. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Peace.